Hey guys, how's it going? It's Janie over here at JaniesSweets. Welcome back to another Friday Fixes episode where you ask me okay questions and I do my best to answer them for you. Today's episode is going to focus on the bad side or the ugly side of baking from home. Now, what I want to focus on in today's video is the not so pretty, fluffy, beautiful, Pinterest worthy stuff that you see all the time. Doing this for as long as I have done it, you will hit so many highs and so many lows. Like, it's not even funny. This is not a business that is for the faint of heart. It's a very cutthroat business. Now, we're not going to talk too much about everything that you cannot control or that is out of your control, how your customers react to you and whatnot. It's more the inner battles that we face as home bakers. Today's episode is going to be a really good one. It's not really going to be something that, teaching you guys anything, but rather hopefully a pick-me-up or, like a boost of confidence to anyone who is feeling really down and frustrated lately, with their baking careers or what they're doing. What a lot of people don't talk about in this business is the frustrations that come along with doing what we do. Let's talk about the exhaustion that comes with being a creative person, baking and decorating these cakes and these treats. It is extremely exhausting to do what we do, not so much physically only, but also mentally. Like, you constantly have to think and be creative and think outside the box, keep up with those trends and, do things to please customers. Like, the amount of stuff that we have to deal with as designers, bakers, and decorators is extremely high. Okay, like, we don't catch a break if we're not scrolling Instagram or Pinterest looking for new ideas. Like, we're on YouTube, or which is what you're doing right now, or we're actually physically making the cakes ourselves. Like, it's really taxing, not only physically but also mentally for us. Let's not even get started on the expectations that we put on ourselves. Being a creative person, you are yourself's own worst critic. A lot of times you're looking at a cake and you see all these hard, horrible things that are wrong with it, but then somebody else turns around and they're like, oh my gosh, that's the best cake I've ever seen in my life. Okay, we put so much pressure on ourselves and we have such high expectations, rightfully so. We should challenge ourselves and we should really keep pushing. However, I find that a lot of times we do this excessively. We compare ourselves a lot to all the things that we're seeing on social media, and it's putting unrealistic expectations on us. That's gonna bring me right on over to my next point, which is comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, just because someone is really good at something, that doesn't mean that you need to be good at it or that you are going to be good at it. You're gonna compare your cakes to Sally's cakes down the street, but Sally's staying in her own lane and she's making beautiful, wonderful buttercream cakes because that's what she's good at, and you're over there trying to catch up to her when in reality you're really good at fondant cakes. So you're not exploring and really cultivating your skills because you're stuck comparing yourself to her when her lane is completely different to yours. Stop scrolling on social media if you feel like you're not, your heart is not at peace, that you keep comparing yourself to other people. We preach about doing this in our personal lives, detoxing from social media, but we should sometimes do the same thing in our business lives. Do yourself a favor. If you find that you're falling down that rabbit hole of comparing yourself, deactivate your social media. Okay, now piggybacking off of comparing yourself to other people is what you don't see. What you don't see are the blood, sweat, and tears of that person. I don't know anybody who is super successful doing this who has not at least once in their entire career pulled an all-nighter. Like, you either missed a deadline or a cake that you thought was gonna take you like X amount of time ends up taking you way more time. How many of you have had sleepless nights? How many of you have missed events on a Saturday because you were out there, setting up a cake somewhere, or Friday night finishing up a last minute order? All of that stuff happens, you guys, okay? Like, if you went into this not thinking that this was a thing. Well, it is a thing. You're exhausted all of the time. Another thing that a lot of people underestimate is the cost, okay? This business has honestly almost bankrupt me. All right, I bought so many molds. Like, I got addicted to buying molds and cake pans and all of that. I looked at my credit card at one point and I was like, oh, like, I need to stop. Like, this is a problem. I made it a mission 3 years ago to not buy one more baking thing. Like, not one more. What I mean by that are things that, like, you know, are like trendy or stuff like that. Like, I always wanted to like try everything that came out in the market, and I stopped doing this. I only bought or replenished things like cake boards and things to actually make the cake, but I did not buy any more cake tools. So the money that you're gonna start investing in this business is unreal. So don't underestimate how much money goes into this, and don't think that just because somebody has a nice thing, they actually were able to afford it. They might have like gone into debt, you know, trying to get it. Now, whenever you make a cake that you honestly don't feel good about, take a deep breath, okay? Like, it happens to the best of us. We have bad days. It is the most frustrating thing whenever you are icing a cake and it's super hot out and the icing tells you, you know what, I'm not gonna stick to this cake. I'm about to melt all over your floor or all over your bench. It has happened. Like, it does happen. Just don't think that you're the only person that it happens to. It happens to every single person, okay? It's super easy to look at Sally down the street and think, oh no, her icing doesn't melt off her cake. Turn that cake around. You see that flour that she put over there? She didn't put it just because she wanted to. No, it's hiding a hole because the whole icing fell off. All right. Now, another frustrating thing that happens in this business are annoying customers. You're gonna find crazy people out there, okay? All the crazies come out when it comes time to order cakes, all right? I don't know why, but they come out. People who don't want to pay you, or rude people, or people who are bashing your business for no reason. You guys, you name it. You're going to experience like the worst of the worst. Like, people are gonna curse you out sometimes. People are going to, you know, expect things from you that you cannot deliver. Just honestly, you're not the only one. Big bakeries get that way more often than us home bakers. You'd be surprised. When I worked at a bakery, literally almost every day somebody came back to complain about something, okay, wanting their money back. So don't feel too bad about it. Like, it's not just you. They don't have anything against you. Sometimes people are just weird and evil. To be honest with you, 9 out of 10 customers are actually really good, nice people. I want to share a story about one of my favorite customers. There's 2 of them that honestly I have considered my friends now. They're no longer my customers, they're my friends. I made a cake for her, and I went to deliver it. Long story short, she ordered 2 cakes, canceled one, and I made the cake that she canceled. And when I got to deliver the thing, it was very odd because I was walking in with a giraffe cake, but everything was decorated like spring theme. So I was like, okay, that's weird. So I placed the cake there, and then she goes, can I tell you something? I'm like, yeah. She's like, that's not the cake. I'm like, what do you mean that's not the cake? She's like, you were supposed to make the other cake, which was the spring themed cake. And at that moment, I honestly wanted to die, okay? Like, the knife that I got to my heart was almost unbearable. I was shaking. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to approach it. It was actually one of my first, you know, cakes that I was making, probably like a month into baking or selling my stuff. And the niceness and the warmth that I got from her honestly may have saved my baking career. Like, if it wasn't for her being super nice to me at that moment, I probably would have quit. I probably would have. So Giselle, if you're watching this, thank you so much for your kindness. Now, to conclude all of this, honestly guys, think about why you're doing this. Whenever you're feeling frustrated, whenever you're feeling down, or whenever you're feeling like you're comparing yourself to other people, remember that feeling of making your cake, delivering it to your client, and seeing the smile on their face, and it'll all make it worth it. So I know this video did not fix any of your problems. but at least hopefully it gave you, you know, a smile on your face. It cheered you up a little bit, and you know, hopefully some of the things that I've said will ring in the back of your head whenever the next time is that you are feeling down about your, you know, your stuff. So with all of that being said, you guys, this is today's video. If you did enjoy it and you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. Also, share it with your friends and family and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. I do make one every single Friday. So this is it for this week's video, guys. I love you. I'll talk to you next time.